All right, this is my review for Sketch. I saw this movie late. I saw that I didn't really know about this movie until a few days ago, and I got a chance to see it in the theater. So what I will say, before continuing my review, if you see this review and it kind of shines light on the film and you do want to check it out, I would say check now, see if it's available on Showtimes, because in my area it looks like I think it has one more week left in the theaters, which is unfortunate. It's been out since August 6th, so if you want to check it out, and then also maybe when it comes on streaming, maybe you can check it out as well. But I do recommend this. I saw it in theaters; it was pretty good. And what I'm going to say is, I'm not sure if this affects the marketing, but I think it does because, and I'll say it says Angel Studios produced this film. Okay, and I know that Angel Studios, they make a lot of faith-based stuff. I'm gonna say this movie is not faith-based. There's nothing in this film that shows you, that tries to make you think a certain way. And I'm not sure if that is affecting people, but only reason I think it may have been is because when I saw Angel Studios, and I've seen some Angel Studios films, but I just was like, oh, I don't feel like going to see something like that right now. That's kind of what my idea when I saw they were promoting it. And then I didn't even watch a trailer. I just saw Angel Studios, and I just know the type of, normally the movies that I've seen them make is normally faith-based movies. And I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm not sure if I want to check that out right now. You know what I mean? And then I'm glad I went to see this because they didn't make this movie. They're basically the distributor, so they're helping distribute the film. They didn't make this movie at all. So they saw this movie and they said, oh, we believe in it. Let's put it out there. So I think they need to either remove their name or they need to be more clear. And because it just says Angel Studios and then it says the title on a lot of the promotion, they need to put like, I don't know, like Angel Studios promoting or something. I don't know, a partner company. They need to figure that out because I feel like a lot of people might see the promotion like I did, and might think they know exactly what type of film this is, and they don't. This film had a lot of horror elements, which is interesting. It's a kids movie, but the score of this movie, kids can watch this movie and it's not like super scary, but there are elements of this film when I was watching it and I legit got goosebumps because they know how to play with tension. The makers of this movie, they know how to play with tension as far as, okay, you know something might come alive from the art that this girl created if you've seen trailers. And it deals with grief and acceptance, learn how to accept stuff, and family. And like I said, also ultimately acceptance. But it's fun and creative, and I would recommend it for sure. But like I said, it's fun and creative. I would recommend it. And like I said, those elements of horror that I'm talking about, it's just like the people who did the score, they did such a great job because when you're watching it, I was in a theater, so maybe that's why the score, I could hear everything perfectly. But they know how to build the tension on the way this girl has described these creatures to her father. Like she's going through stuff, you know. They had a loss in the family, and she's going through this this grief, and she's pretty much the only one in the family who's dealing with it. She's dealing with it through her art, you know, and her brother and her dad, they don't really talk about too much of the loss. And because of that, it seems like they're just the regular ones. They're like, you know, they're just living life like regular. She's like going crazy with the art, but she's not going crazy. She's really being sane in her thoughts and getting everything out. And that's what you have to do. Sometimes, you know, if you lose someone, you might listen to a certain song over and over, or you might you know, you might act out. There's a lot of different ways that a person reacts to losing someone or losing a loved one, you know. And I think I really did enjoy this film, and I think this film could definitely be healing and a little bit cathartic for certain people who might have lost someone in their family or just anyone in general. But even if you haven't, I think you can still understand this film, and I think that it's good for kids to see a film like this. It's fun. It's not just dark and about despair. It's mainly fun. They really deal with more of that stuff towards the end, but it's a through line throughout the whole film. And I didn't really know too much about this film, so I don't know how good it was promoted, but I wish it was better promoted, but maybe just they didn't just market to me. I'm not sure. But if you heard about this film and you saw it, I would recommend check it out. I think it has one more week in theaters, so I would recommend definitely checking it out. And one thing this film did, out of all the things it's done, the kids, people who wrote the kids, very good. The kids are great. They have a good core of the group of kids is great. I love them. I love them running around and figuring out stuff and going again and figuring out how to take out these monsters and stuff like that. I love the dad. I love that they don't make the dad like a bumbling fool. Like he's a smart character, and he, you know, he feels like a real dad. You know what I mean? He feels like he really cares for his kids, and they're able to tell him stuff, and like he has real reactions, and I think that's pretty. I'm pretty happy the way they portray the father in this film, and then it could have been very easy to kind of dismiss and then go straight for the kids and just make it fun and like chaotic, but it was fun and chaotic, but like I said, there's a lot more going on. I don't want to make this too long, but I have to bring up something. I was born in the late 90s, and so I grew up with 90s shows and early 2000 shows. This movie really makes me really want a Chalk Zone movie, whether it's animated or live action. I want a Chalk Zone. That's what I need to say. This movie, it's great. If I had to give this out of 4, if I had to give this out of 5 stars, I would go like maybe a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Like I enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed it. They're what I would have wanted more of? Maybe a little more action. But it's not an action movie. Like, what am I talking about? But it's just because the way they explain these creatures that the girl draws, they explain them in very heavy detail. So when they're popping up, I'm like, I wanted to see a little bit more from each one. But if they were to show more, that means there might be some people really getting hurt, because this girl, she is very artistic and very creative, and she goes for it. When you see her artwork, she goes for it. Like she could be a comic book writer or something, the way she thinks about these ideas and how these creatures really interact. So that was pretty cool. But like I said, it's really about dealing with your emotions. And she, like I said, it seems like she's crazy to certain people in her school because she's a young kid, but she's the only one dealing with her emotions because she's actually putting them out there. She's putting them on a page and she's getting them out artistically. And the film, I like that the film, I'm not going to spoil anything, but I like how it kind of reiterates that to her and like doesn't make her just feel like, okay, don't ever draw again. You know what I mean? Like it deals with it in a constructive way and shows her how to, balance it out. If you're going to draw something bad, maybe draw something good, like you have to try to balance it out. And I love the father and the daughter relationship. The whole family, the brother is good. I think you should definitely check it out. And one thing I want to say again is this film, like I said, I was born towards the late 90s, so I was born in 96. So I grew up with a lot of early 90s shows and early 2000 shows. So I got the best of both worlds, I feel. And when they did that, when my parents did that, I grew up with Chalk Zone. Like I said, Chalk Zone was amazing. It was one amazing shows I grew up with. And this movie, like I said, it makes me really want a Chalk Zone, whether it be live action or animated. Even if people from Into the Spideyverse, if they want to take on Chalk Zone, it can make $500 million. Maybe not, but if they promote it right, it can make at least 400 million. Like Chalk Zone has a world. They can make like 3 movies like embody it. So it kind of made me excited for something like that. Maybe some studio heads might be watching a movie like, oh, we have something that could go like this. Even Harold and the Purple Crayon, I didn't watch that, but when I seen it, I thought about it. I had an inkling like, oh, Miss Chalk Zone, that'll be good. I might watch it. I haven't seen him show in that long, but if anyone knows about it, put it in the comments. Let me know if you ever seen it and if you know what I'm talking about. And I know there's other shows that kind of feel like that. But this is Deja signing off. Spread love and light. Take care. And how we signing off today?